Hey, Brandon here. Unfortunately, as we were recording this latest episode, some internet complications came up and wiped out part of Joe's track, and I'm going to try my best to make this still flow, but yeah, that's going to be why there are some gaps. Anyways, hope you enjoy. Thank you. Welcome to Scatterbrained, a weekly subpod of mind controllers where we chat about what we've been playing this week and maybe a few other things we've enjoyed. I'm your host, Brandon Craw, and I'm joined by my co host.
Joe Moreno.
And today, we're going to be talking about what games we've been playing this past week. Joe, I'm going to let you go first for this one because I feel like I've mostly just been playing Elden Ring and not even like gotten to the Shadows of the Erdtree part. We'll talk more about it later, but I know you recently completed a game. You had a lot of talk about with that. And you mentioned maybe some fighting game tournament thing that happened or is happening soon. So yeah, feel free to fill me in on both those things.
So let's see. I finally finished Persona 3 Reload. When did I start this game? A few months ago. Yeah, I think like April. Because it came out February. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in February, but then so did Final Fantasy VII
Yep.
Rebirth. Did it come out the same day or was it like a week before?
It might have been a week before or after. I'm not too sure. It was early February. But
Okay.
regardless, I finally finished. I think my end time was 91 hours. So that was
Whoa.
it was a huge commitment. Finally finished it. That ending always hits me. It's like, wow. I don't want to spoil it. And just in case you ever get to it,
I mean, I feel like we could put a little spoiler warning here if anyone hasn't finished or played P3R. It's okay. I have no idea when I'm going to get to it, and honestly, like my memory with the game, like game story is pretty it takes a lot for it to solidify into my brain. So, unless I experience it, I'm there's a good chance it's going to leave. So,
okay,
feel
gotcha.
free to tell me about it in whatever capacity you want.
Okay, so the way the Persona 3 Reload works is the theme is death, right? Like even the color scheme's like blue. It's kind of gloomy, right? Because there's going to be a lot of death in this game, so a lot of characters do die. So you make your way through Tartarus, which is this giant tower. Think of Mementos from Persona 5. You know how it's a tower, like it's just an underground labyrinth type thing.
Yeah.
So this in Persona 3, you're going up, right? You're going up a tower. It's about 200 and something floors. So it's a huge commitment. So each month you go like maybe like another 30, 40 floors, right? It opens up at the beginning of a new month. You keep going until the end of the game.
Okay.
And as you do that, it's Persona. So you're making friends, right? You're fusing personas, which are, think about like, they're kind of like Pokemon in a way. That's
Mhm.
more generalized. You make them stronger, you sacrifice them, you fuse them, you just get stronger personas. So at the end of the game, there's this decision where it's like the game gives you a choice. The whole world's going to end. So you can either choose to like live out your days like nothing ever happened, nothing's gonna happen, right? But everyone dies, right? You just forget that everyone's gonna die, right? Or you can choose to live out the last like month in constant like just panic and despair that the world will end. And so everyone's kind of going through their like, wow, the world is ending, and it's very heavy because everyone's going through it. We have like a character named by Junpei is his name, and he's like yelling at the protag like, this is all your fault, why didn't you do anything about this, right? Like he gets heated, right? And some characters are just sad. They're just like, well, I guess this is my life now, right? But eventually everyone comes to a terms of acceptance, and everyone wants to fight the at the end. It's like the god of death. I think Nyx is the name of the god.
Oh, okay.
So you decide to fight Nyx at the end of January, right? And the game tells you this isn't a fight you can win. You're gonna lose. There's no way out of this. So either let Nyx kill you without like any memory that it is gonna kill you, or you can try to fight it, and we'll see what happens, right? So at the end, you do make it to the end of the tower, to the top. You do fight Nyx, right? And it gets to a point where it's like you're not gonna win. Like the boss fight isn't too hard, but then again, I was over leveled because I was grinding. Do you remember in Persona 5 the Reaper, that one boss?
I think if I'm going to Google it right now,
Mm-hmm.
I might. Does it make an appearance in
It
Persona
does.
3?
And you can grind this enemy out. So there's a certain spell that you can get in Persona 3 called Armageddon, which is you summon Satan and Hallel, which is like, I guess, like the version before Lucifer, right? And they have this attack that just insta kills the Reaper. So you can use this to grind up levels.
Oh, that's dope.
So at the end of the game, I was like level 95. So the boss fight wasn't too hard. Like there are times where it does get you close to death. Like it has a move called Apocalypse that drops you to like 5 HP. And so you're scrambling to heal back up because you don't want to do the fight all over again. Because
Yeah.
that fight takes like 30 minutes or so.
Ooh, that's a long fight. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that's pretty typical for some JRPGs, but
Oh, for
damn.
sure. Yeah. You make it through the fight. And at the end of it, it's just hopeless. You guys are not going to win. So at the end of it, the pro tag enters like the velvet room, right? And Igor's telling
Uh-huh.
him like, these are the bonds that you've made, right? They're speaking out to you. Pro tag gets the universe tarot card, which I think in every Persona game, no one else has gotten, right? So this is like very important because usually you start as the
Uh,
fool, right? The protagonist is the fool.
mhm.
You might get like a something below like the world card, right? But this is the pro tag gets the universe card. It's got infinite power, it's limitless, and he uses that power to seal Nyx up to
Damn.
prevent the world from dying. And so he does that by sacrificing himself.
The pro tag.
Yes, the pro tag.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's pretty unique. I feel like rarely do you have like the main hero of the story. They always say they're going to sacrifice themselves, but then something helps them and like saves them from the death. And this game, he does he come back from it? Is he
So
revived?
yeah, so you kind of get a fake out, like the
Okay.
Nyx is defeated, right? Everyone's crying because they're like or worried about the pro tag because they're like, where'd he go? Where is he at? Right at the end, you see him walk down like Tartarus, which it's like, oh, you're back, right? And so you get to live like 2 months. You get to live 2 more months, right? Is what I'm saying.
Oh.
At the end of the game, it's revealed that essentially only had like a little bit of life force left, right? About 2 months worth. And so the team decides to meet on graduation day before they fought Nyx. Are like, hey, there's a chance we might forget what went on, so let's pick a day that we can all meet up, and it's graduation day, right? Because there are two party members that are seniors, and so they're leaving high school. So they pick graduation day. They remember, and so you just see, the pro tag sitting with the other protagonist, Aegis, which she's another pro tag because she has a DLC coming up, and that's her story.
Oh, sick. Okay.
And so he's just resting on her lap, right? They're talking. Well, Igus is talking to him, like you can rest now, you can move on, right? Close your eyes, right? And so the game gives you this choice to keep your eyes open or close your eyes, right? But no matter what, eventually the pro tag is too tired and eyes close, right? And as everyone's like making it to the rooftop for
Cool. Yeah, we just had some technical issues, so I'm not sure how this is going to end up being, but we're back now. Thank you, Joe, for working through all of this with me.
yeah,
And yeah, I think we were last talking about, we just wrapped up talking about Persona 3 Reloaded. And you're about to tell me about this fighting game championship that's coming out called CEO.
yeah. So CEO, this is out in Florida. It's happening this weekend, the 28th, I think 29th. I think it ends Sunday night. There's a bunch of games: Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear, Smash Bros. I think I saw Mario Kart in there too.
Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
hell
also
yeah.
they got some older games like Street Fighter Third Strike, and I think Capcom versus SNK 2. So that's going on too.
I have no idea what Street Fighter Third Strike is, but cool.
Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be exciting. This is the last major tournament before Evo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of fighting game eyes on this one,
Oh, definitely.
especially since Evo is like right around the corner. It's about a month away. That's cool. Are there a certain like which fighting games I feel like during the tournaments do you tend to like watch the most?
So I like to watch Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8. There's
Okay.
also Under Night in Birth 2, Sis Celeste, I think it's called, which is a anime fighter, which is interesting because I played the beta for that or the demo online and I just got absolutely cooked. And like people just like, dude, they know how to play that game. It's kind of crazy to see it in
Yeah.
action. So yeah, and then what else? Guilty Gear, Drive. I'm also looking forward to the older game, Capcom versus SNK 2,
Yeah. Yeah.
because just I like the older fighting games, the pixel art and everything. and just to see what high level play in those games look like, because I've not seen high level play. Like not a lot of people are playing those anymore.
Definitely, especially some of these older games. I feel like with Capcom versus SNK, that is one I know I've heard about and heard like people talk about before. Is that like a revered like older fighting game then?
Yeah, that's a lot of people's favorite versus game, because you know how like we have Marvel versus Capcom, right?
Yeah.
You have X-Men versus Street Fighter. Yeah, Capcom versus SNK 2 has a lot of characters from SNK, like Terry. Right, we got King of Fighter characters as well, and then you got Capcom characters. So like Ryu, I don't know, I don't think Mega Man's in it. He might be. I'm not too familiar with the roster, but I have played it once in a while. Also played it at an arcade, and it's really fun. The matches can, maybe because it's low level gameplay that I'm doing, but the matches can kind of take forever because it's like I think three fighters, it's either three or two fighters, but like the matches can go on for a while. It's really fun. Yeah. So I always like watching high level gameplay because it's like, dang, like people can do that with these characters. It's wild. Like here I am doing my shitty combos, and these guys are like cooking on the big screen. So
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
mean,
time.
you say shitty combos, but in reality, you would cook like so many people I'm sure that you've met or like have played these games, myself included. Yeah, I doubt those combos are really shitty. So I'm trying to say you're selling yourself short, man. I think you could go into a local tournament and whoop some ass. I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe I might make like beat one or two guys, but I'm not too confident in my.
I guess we were talking about your preferred, just how it depends on people's play style preference, determining what fighting game that they're more drawn towards. Do you find that you're like more drawn to one then? It sounds like Street Fighter 6. Oh yeah, yeah, and you were saying that you were going through ranks in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, so I was going through ranked. So I was at silver one, and then I hit gold, because we had a free like multiplayer weekend. So I was like, you know what, this is the time. So I had my cousin coaching me, because
Yeah.
bro, we were fighting him, and he's diamond, right? Or he might be plat now, or no,
Damn.
platinum then diamond. So I think he might be in diamond rank already. And he was just cooking us. I was like, holy shit, when did you get this good? Right? Like, I think I got double perfected by him, and I was like, what the fuck? I
Yeah.
was like, bro, I showed you fighting games. What the hell? How are you cooking me now? You know?
Yeah. What
And
did he do?
he's really good at the combos, and like with like, because he plays Cammy,
Okay.
right? So she's a rush down character. So she's got like, a lot of punches, a lot of kicks that just lead into combos, into level 3 supers and whatnot. Oh God, it's a nightmare, because it's like if I mess up, he can just counter, and there goes like half my life bar. If I mess up again, all right, round's over, right?
Oh my god.
And so he's at the point where when you're coming off of the ground, right? He'll either jump in
Mhm.
the air. So when I try to grab him as I get up, he'll jump in the air. My grab will whiff, right, and then he'll punish me. Or he'll try to grab me as I'm getting up, right, which will mess me up. Or he'll do a combo as I'm getting up, and I'm like, I don't know how to guess, so I'm just gonna get cooked out here, right?
Oh man.
So it's bad. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me hop online and let me learn. So he was like teaching me like, no, like distance, right? Do this instead. Try to do this. You're jumping too much, right? That guy's jumping a lot, and Zangief has like a air SPD, which is a grab in the air, right? So you can grab him in the air and like do like a throw essentially.
Mm.
So he's like, yeah. So he was just coaching me. So we got to gold. I think it took like an hour and a half. It felt like 2 or 3 hours, because by the end of it, dude, I was like shaking. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I was actually on a win streak too. I had a 10 win streak.
Oh shit,
So
nice.
yeah, and I was like, holy shit, this is cool. And then the win streak went bye bye. So it took longer to rank up. So when you're on a win streak, at least in the lower ranks, you get way more points. So you'll level
Uh
up faster. You'll rank up faster, right? So once I lost the win streak, it was back to like, oh, you'll get like 40 points here for winning, right? And there was a point where I got like maybe 400 points or 500 points in one battle because I had that winning streak.
damn.
So I was just shooting across the rank, right? And yeah, that was like, when I made it to gold, I was like, holy crap, that was like, it wasn't stressful. It was fun because I was learning, but I was shaking after. I was like, that was
Yeah.
a lot of stress, because the last guy I was fighting, I don't remember his name, but he was playing Ryu, right?
Uh-huh.
And God, he was kind of good. And I was just like, I'm tired, because I started making mistakes. I like started like messing up inputs, or
Yeah.
like jumping too much, and I was like, I'm tired. Like I know I'm mentally drained. I'm not doing things correctly. So this Ryu was the last guy I needed to rank up to gold.
Oh,
So I
man.
beat him, right?
Uh-huh.
And he wanted a rematch, and I was like, "No, dude, I'm out. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm good. I'm walking away." Because after 2 hours, I'm like,
Yeah. You're done.
"That's it." Yeah,
I know.
I was like mentally exhausted.
I love that guy. He was probably like, "No, I got this fool. Let's go again. Come on." And like he really
Run
wanted
it
to kick
back,
your ass. Yeah,
and
exactly.
I was like, "No, dude, I gotta go.
Yeah. Do you
I'm
usually
tired."
do you play with the mics on or anything?
No,
Yeah.
I do not.
That's
No,
probably
ever
for the
since like
best.
like growing up with like 360 PS3, and you could just say whatever over the mic. Yeah, no, no, I'm good.
Bro, yeah, I totally understand. I was like, when I was in middle school or high school, I played it was more middle school actually. I played a shit ton of Halo 2 to the point where I was playing ranked Halo 2, and
Hmm.
I understand. Like it gets toxic real quick, and just like,
Yeah,
especially if you're playing a ranked online like team based game, like with a group of people who's a random, like it's one thing to have your own squad or crew that you like roll with and you can understand and chat with, but like to just play with some randos, and like it gets toxic real quick with like talking shit about your own teammates, not even like talking shit to the people you're playing against, but you call out like whoever's fucking up, and like it gets bad. So totally don't blame you for playing with mic off in this fighting game.
yeah, definitely. And I don't think Street Fighter 6 has the mic option. Actually, I think it's just
Oh, okay.
yeah. So which is pretty good. But I mean, people can be pretty toxic. Like they'll teabag you, right,
Yeah.
or whatever. They'll be disrespectful with taunts and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
it's all good. I mean, the lower ranks, people are just trying to get better. I think people are just trying to get good. It was fun. It was like, yeah, I got cooked some matches, but I did a lot of the cooking myself. Right.
Nice. That's a good feeling.
So that was fun. Yeah, definitely. So we'll see when I hop online again. Now that I know a little bit more about Zangief and how to play him, and I was practicing some stuff with Zangief too. We'll see if I can continue that momentum because Evo's coming up. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll catch
you'll be there.
some random casual fights out there with Zangief. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people who like just want to play in general. So
yeah.
who knows? That'd be kind of dope. Tell me how you did at the your local Evo bracket.
Right. Yeah, and there's gonna be so Evo's coming up, and I'm going, and I know there's gonna be a lot of like there's gonna be I think we were talking about it before we started. 2XKO, which is another fighting game,
Mm-hmm.
the League of Legends team.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be Hunter x Hunter Nin Impact, which is a team-based fighter. Think of Marvel versus Capcom, but it's Hunter x Hunter characters, and it actually plays like Marvel versus Capcom 3, according to a lot of like YouTubers and fighting game personalities.
I mean, there are a lot of Hunter x Hunter characters, but are there that many to make it?
So that roster is pretty small. It's only 16.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. Only 16 sounds pretty small.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, because yeah, I was going through like the like someone posted something on Reddit, like the like characters that could make it, should be there, should not be there, and there's a lot of characters where I'm like, yeah, there's not a lot of Hunter x Hunter characters you could throw in there.
No, especially if you're just going to do the anime only arc. I mean, because yeah, the anime's done after strong, big, sexy Gon part, and like he kind of loses his. What is?
His
Does he
Nen,
just like
right?
lose his Nen?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah, that's the well Hunter x Hunter spoilers, right?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, gonna have to put that in the in the show notes now. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. It's been out for a while now. Hopefully anyone who cares enough is caught up.
yeah, yeah. Well, no Chrono Trigger spoilers. I still haven't played it, so and I know that game's old.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nin Impact's gonna be there. Also, what is it? Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves, or City of the Wolves, which is another like SNK game. It's Terry Bogard, and Rock
Mhm.
Howard, I think, and other characters. So that'll be there as well, which we're excited to play as well. Maybe I'll get some footage and just shitty phone footage or something, and bring it back to you or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, but yeah, so Evo's happening, and then CEO, like we were talking about, is happening this weekend. So a lot of
Mm.
fighting game stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I feel like when we first like reconnected, I don't know, were you just getting into fighting games? I don't remember you being like
yeah,
this into it like compared to now.
yeah, definitely. So
Okay.
major life change happened about a year ago, and
Yeah.
that's when Street Fighter 6 came out. And so like to cope, that's what I did. I got it started getting into.
Yeah, you've come a long way. Making gold in SF6 now. Hell yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that you're able to like find this passion in this like new genre, especially one that I feel like is a little hard to break into, or not like break into, but like to really get into and understand it. And it feels like there are just people who love fighting games and people who don't. And yeah, you definitely made your way into that. But cool, man. I'm glad. I guess I might as well talk about my experience with Elden Ring. I've been finding that have forgotten majority of like the stuff bosses, not so much like world placement and like the quest line and like what to do in order to like get into the Rhea Lucaria, for example, with like getting that glintstone key and whatnot. But when it comes to the boss fights, I feel like I'm completely blanking out on them. So I'm learning them again for the first time, and I'm having a lot more fun with that. I'm having so much more like satisfaction of like learning the boss and like spending an hour to understand the boss and then finally defeat it. Whereas before, I think I would just get really frustrated with that. And I'm not trying to diminish anybody who uses like the cooperative summons, but like that's often what I would do in my first playthrough is just like use an online co-op summon so that I could just get somebody else's like knowledge and help to get through the boss. But this time, especially with Godric, I used that sorcerer summon. It was an NPC summon. I successfully got through Godric on my own, sans that NPC summon. So that was like a really nice feeling. Yeah, that game is just so satisfying. I'm glad that I'm giving this chance to play through it again. I was tempted to download a cheat engine just so I could pretty much mod the save to already be like I beat the game and I'm at this level, and now I could go and just like do the Shadow of the Erdtree stuff, because that's kind of what a lot of people, I mean, that's what I see online and everyone talking about it. So of course I'm having this like FOMO and I want to join in and like play that too. But I have stopped myself from doing that, and I'm like, no, I need to like remember how to play this game and like get back into it, because I think even in my first playthrough I only played like 45 hours, if that, which is it's not nothing, but it's also not a lot compared to some of these diehard Elden Ring fans. I also like how they themselves have patched it to be slightly easier. Did you see that they've patched it to be slightly easier, the DLC, and then even like some of the boss fights, like they allowed Torrent and Elden Beast when you fight Elden Beast now,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like,
I wish that was there when I was
yeah,
fighting, struggling with Elden Beast.
that I've seen some videos of people doing Elden Beast now with Torrent, and it's like, this is how it was supposed to be. Like, why did they said it trivialized it by having Torrent in there? I'm like, I don't know if I really agree with that. It seems like it's a good difficulty. You could still, unless you know that fight in and out, you could still mess up and die easily in that fight. But the Shadow of the Erdtree tweaks that happened are, I guess not a lot of people are using like the new level up system that's in the DLC, and like they're
Mm,
getting
yeah,
pissed off because they don't know about it, or B, they don't want to engage in it because it's the same mentality as the summons, where they don't want to use the summons because that's somehow cheapening the experience. I'm not 100% sure there.
that subreddit is salty, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 there's some pretty salty people on that Reddit. But it is interesting that the devs themselves are like, no, remember to level up. I think it's pronounced the Shadow tree, even though it's spelt like Skaduar.
yeah, yeah. They're like fragments, right? And they, I
Yeah.
think, buff your health and attack or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what else. I know they definitely buff the attack, and I'm assuming health too. But I don't know if it buffs like resistance or defense or anything.
gotcha.
I guess there's a total of 40 levels for that, and they've made each one scale a bit bigger up until level 20.
Okay.
So I guess, for example, if previously level 1 boosted your health, I'm just pulling these numbers out of the air. Like, I have no idea what they actually are. But if level 1 boosted your health like by 5, it now boosts your health by 10 instead. So
Mm,
it just made that boost a bit more significant till you hit level, whatever that phrase is, the Shadow War fragments, level 20, and then it kind of tapers off. But
yeah, it's like diminishing returns after that.
yeah, exactly. I'm really excited to get to that point. I don't know if I even fought Mog in my original playthrough. I don't know where to find him. I kind of want to Google it, but I also am like having fun just exploring shit without Googling it right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It might be some time before finally get to that DLC, but maybe by then Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom will be ready to come out, so I can enjoy that game.
Yeah, that's like 3 months from now. That's kind of
Yeah,
wild.
but also like not that long relative to their announcement of it. I'm
Yeah.
still surprised that it's only coming out in like 3 months after it's announced. Like that's wild that they were keeping it under wraps for that long. But anyways, yeah. So that's the main video game I've been playing. There is another game that is free on Steam like today only. So by the time anybody hears this, I'm sorry, it's no longer free. It was part of Steam Next Fest. It is called. It was an interesting concept. I haven't played it yet, but I wanted to talk about it. It's called Islands of Insight. And on the Steam store page, the developer is Lunark Studios. I'm looking through their other list of games, at least on Steam, and I don't think I see anything here. Jelly is Sticky and Prismata. I haven't played either of those or really heard anything about them. But this game looks interesting.
Is it a puzzle game?
It's a puzzle game, but it's like a third person action adventure puzzle game, but that's also an MMO. So it's like a shared world where you can solve these puzzles with the other people online. And I think once they're solved, they're just like solved for everybody.
Mm.
Maybe that's not true. At least that was my understanding based off of what I read, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe they aren't solved for everybody, but they are developing an offline mode so that you don't have
Oh,
to
okay.
play with that in mind and you could just experience it all yourself. But I thought that was like kind of a cool, interesting concept to have like this MMO that you can play, or MMO puzzle game. Like I haven't really heard of that done before. Applaud them for like coming up with something like that and seemingly make it work. I see right now out of the most recent reviews, it's mixed on Steam, but all
Okay.
time reviews, it's positive, very positive. So I'm not sure what the recent downvoting is. Like, yeah, I'm just not sure. I need to look more into this game, but seemed cool. Kind of want to play it. And let's see, other than video games, was there any other media thing that you've
No, it's just been a lot of gaming, a lot of well, a lot of like I've actually, like that couples class I was working on for work, getting through that as
Oh
well.
yeah.
So like I'm almost done with it.
Oh
I just
nice.
need the certification test.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, so what I did was just like, okay, I went through the manual a couple months ago, and like it makes you go through like video lectures, and I'm like, I'm just gonna play Paper Mario while doing the video lectures, and so yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, I do that too.
Because I was just like, I was already exposed to this in grad school. I already read through the manual, reviewed some of it in Texas as well when I was on.
Yeah, I mean it's something else that you've had to do. Yeah, no, that's something, and it's important to what you're doing on a day to day basis. So yeah, yeah, that's fair game. Nice. I mean, I've been watching a lot of shows every week, like The Acolyte, The Boys, The Bears starting tonight. This other like rom com, or it's not. That's a little less romance. There's some romance in it. It's more like a comedy. Acapulco, which is on Apple TV Plus. But what I saw yesterday was a film called Kinds of Kindness. The director is Yorgos Lanthimos, and he's this like Greek director who makes these very surreal, absurdist films that have like they're mostly based in reality, but have a slightly not supernatural, but you could tell that something is like not natural that occurs in the movie. And his most recent, like critically acclaimed film was Poor Things, that reviewed very well and did very well, and had a lot of press. The one that is out now, Kinds of Kindness, I guess he filmed right after they finished filming Poor Things, and Poor Things came out, I think, in December of 2023. So for him to put out another movie 6 months later is kind of unheard of from a director to all of a sudden like put out another movie back to back. But this one had a smaller cast and also is like nearly 3 hours long and consists of three stories that are mostly separate but kind of live in the same world, even though they all three of the stories involve, for the most part, same like five actors, but they play different characters each time. It's a really interesting just like concept for a film. Really enjoyed it. There was a lot of dark humor, scenes, acting, but I think the general sentiment is like a lot of people. This movie is super divisive. I was reading like some stuff on Reddit about people's experiences watching the movie, and I'd say about half of the things I read were people saying that they couldn't take it and walked out of the movie halfway through.
Oh, whoa.
And I was like pretty shocked by that because I was having a good time with it. It's like I hesitate to call it weird because I feel like it's not really weird in like a film sense. But I think, compared to someone who's not too into film, this might be a little out there and a little hard to sit through, but I had a great time with it. So if anybody enjoyed Poor Things and was kind of curious about Yorgos Lanthimos again, definitely recommend seeing this movie, but I don't know about seeing it in theaters because it's kind of a lot to ask for 3 hours. It's also, I don't think, fully out yet. And they were just doing like a special preview a month before its official release or a few weeks before its official release. So I'm lucky enough to live near a theater that's doing one of those previews. But yeah, check it out. If somebody has seen it, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Other than that, I think that
Gotcha.
might be it. You look like you were about to say something. I can't tell though.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You've also have been working for a long time. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'm sure you're dying to like get home at this point. Hopefully traffic has died down for
Yeah,
you.
I'm hoping traffic has died down. I mean, I don't like when it's like 8 or something later, kind of just put on the Persona playlist in the car and just chill, honestly. That's all I can really do because I'll get home when I get home. I'm not really in a rush,
Yeah.
you know?
That's a good way to think about it. All right, man. Well, once again, this was great talking to you about random ass things that we've been watching,
Right.
playing, listening to. And yeah, I'm excited to hang out on Sunday and we're going to record our next full Mind Controllers episode and probably stream some Alan Wake too.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. We love and appreciate you guys. And I'm going to do the typical social media thing of like, subscribe, comment on all of the socials. Like, yeah, it kind of helps a lot for the visibility on Twitch, on Instagram. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.